Hello and welcome. In this message, I wanted to expand out and once again greet you in this new form of being, a new form of your interpretation, and offer you another insight or another interpretation into what has come on board, and then what will continue to come on board within the next space of interpretation within the next whatever frame you choose to put this into. Your reality thus far, as gainful as it might have been, uh, has uh, has carried this nuance of innocence and the nuance of childlike play that you have been interpreting and you have been playing with and you have been um, gaming to in order to adjust yourself and set in the new set of behaviors and new set of circumstances. But as you continue to adjust and as you continue to familiarize yourself with this new frequency, I wanted to point out that your dimensional version of self continues to expand, right? So as you acclimate a portion of yourself, recognize that that acclimation alongside comes with this additional expansion into another dimension or another interpretation of another dimension from the standpoint of you. And so it is almost as if you're walking in the uh, a hoop forward and the leap forward, a hoop forward and a leap forward type of an interpretation, where the slow steps of your assimilation into your neurointerpretation, and then allow the next phase of you to open up and next phase of you to expand out, and then your gameplay kind of allows you to catch up and become familiar with this new space, and then the new dimensionality will open up. And so this progression between familiarity and the newness and familiarity and the newness will be your reality for the foreseeable future, as you would seem like always continue to expand yourself and always continue to reinterpret yourself as something else. And so the density obviously will become later and later, and then your definition of I will very much start to reform and be reconsidered as you progress in this fashion towards the new, very much a completely new definition of what it means to be you, what it means to be a citizen of this plane, what it means to be a citizen of your planet. In fact, the reinterpretation of your planet itself obviously has already shifted. And then the open eye outlook that you have already will continue to, I guess, maybe flabbergast and expand your consciousness in even more detail and even more gameplay that you have been already partaken in. And so recognize that as crazy as the journey has been thus far, um, you will be given time to assimilate and become familiar with the space that you're holding in this moment or any one moment. Um, and then recognize once you have accepted or become accustomed enough to the new frequency of interpretation, a new frequency will jump open. And then you will basically continue the journey. To you, it might feel like a continuous interpretation with no changes and no adjustments into your being. But it is almost as if these staggering gates will open from the interpretation of what you're actually experiencing. And so you will have times of steady interpretation or steady growth, and then there will seem to be some sort of an explosive change that comes out of nowhere. But just recognize that it is your dimensionality. Just continue to progress as you acclimate to the new interpretations and the new versions of you. And yeah, and so live, interpret, recognize again. I will repeat that this is the journey of self that you have come here to facilitate, and journey of self you have come here to partake on. Excuse me, is to be on the journey where you are discovering your being and you're discovering your interpretation as the reality that is something other than your initial incarnation or your initial perception of recognition, incarnation. So initial perception of recognition of what is actually that is you, right? So the idea of you is shifting. The idea of you, the interpretation of you, the game that you're playing is being redefined as a individual being, but if, obviously as a species overall. And so I wish you happy playing, and I wish you happy interpreting of yourself. Thank you.